Good day to each and every one of you, my dear participants. I am Dr. Raquel de la Cruz-Bernabe, the founder and the president CEO of the Asia Pacific Association of Educators Training Institute. Today, I am your facilitator for the fourth session of the pre-APA-ET webinar. Allow me to give you a bird's eye view on my recent study about the phenomenological blended teaching and learning approach as the new normal school system that I'm still working out at this time of pandemic. Let me begin with simple facts. We all know that the world around us is affected by the very same issue we face. We also know that today we have the resources to adapt to our current situation. However, what is also made clear is the lack of exposure of educators to the methods we can and must use if we want to utilize such technology to our advantage. That being said, this topic is indeed useful to our upcoming situation, and this is the new normal school system. In this session, at the end of this session, participants can expect to define what is PBTLA all about, know the characteristics of PBTLA, understand what is Padlet and how to use this platform, and of course, demonstrate understanding on how to use the Padlet platform. To introduce my presentation, let me play this video.
Blended learning is a way of teaching that combines online resources with in-person instruction to create a more personalized learning environment. With blended learning, instructors often make some or all of the content available to the students outside of class time. Taking this to the extreme, students could consume all of the traditional lecture material at home at their own pace, and during class time they could complete work assignments traditionally given as homework during class, as well as other activities like team-based or project-based learning. This describes the flipped classroom model, because it flips what students do at home and in the classroom. Typically, when a teacher creates a lecture, they have to make an educated guess about the knowledge level of their audience, since they have limited information about what each student knows or remembers. If a lecture is too difficult, then most of the students will be lost. If it's too easy, then most of the students will be bored. So teachers typically end up lecturing to the mythical middle of the class and hoping for the best. By putting their content online, students can move at their own pace. Those who are familiar with the material can go through it quickly, even watching it at an increased speed, while others who aren't as familiar with it can pause to take notes, re-watch it, or call up other resources to help them understand a concept being explained. An additional benefit for all students is that they can choose to engage with the material when they're most alert, which satisfies both the early bird and the night owl. And for those students that have disabilities, they can take the breaks that they need without having to worry about missing out or distracting others. Putting work assignments back in the classroom also has a number of benefits from a learning science perspective. A lot of students describe the frustration of feeling like they understand a concept in class, but then being confused when they go home and try to apply it to an assignment. This is also supported by research. We learn best through active work, not passive listening. Doing work assignments during class time means that teachers are available when students need them the most, when they're trying to apply their knowledge. Another place where students traditionally struggle is with out-of-class group work, because it can be hard to coordinate an in-person meetup as well as make sure those meetings are constructive. Moving group work into the classroom setting makes the logistics straightforward, and it also allows the instructor to keep an eye on group meetings and to help facilitate them if needed. An important aspect of all blended learning environments is that they're not intended to do away with face time in the classroom. Unlike online classes, where all of the material and interactions are online, blended classrooms count on face-to-face interactions between students and teachers. Instead of getting rid of these interactions, blended learning structures are intended to optimize them, moving the teacher from a passive sage on the stage, who delivers didactic lectures to a large audience, to a more active role as a guide on the side, who interacts one-on-one with students to help guide them in ways that might be impractical or impossible with a traditional teaching model. By doing this, blended learning classes move from a teacher-focused learning model to a student-focused learning model. In a traditional classroom, the approach is generally time-based, meaning the whole class moves at the same pace. All students get the same lesson on the same day, and are tested on that material at the same time. And then they all move on to the next topic regardless of their individual exam performance or if they have gaps in their knowledge. Blended classrooms are flexible enough to allow the use of a mastery-based model, which acknowledges that not all students are going to get the material at the same time. Some students might need more time to understand a topic, while at other times those same students will speed ahead. By giving students as much time as they need on a topic, and letting them decide when they're ready to be tested, blended classes can help to ensure that students move forward only when they've shown that they can apply.
Okay, so blended teaching and learning approach is something all about connected learning, online learning, global connections, project-based learning, and face-to-face move. Now, what is phenomenological blended teaching and learning approach all about? PBTLE is an approach to education that combines online educational materials and opportunities for interaction online with traditional based classroom methods. It means that integration of online learning with traditional face-to-face classroom instruction in a pedagogically planned manner, or we also call it mixed or hybrid mode of learning, in which online learning replaces some aspects of face-to-face learning, such as collaboration and communication, which is very important functions of this form of learning. We have to note that the blended learning approach is mastery-based. Of course, when students show they understand different concepts, they are able to progress to the next idea. Let's proceed with the characteristics of the phenomenological blended teaching and learning approach. So to introduce, what are the 6 characteristics of the PBTLA? Let me show you this video. Okay, so those are the 6 characteristics of the phenomenological blended teaching and learning approach. Let's discuss it one by one. Let's start with a face-to-face driver model. This blended learning model targets students who demonstrate skills either below or above grade level that allows them to receive additional instruction through a computer program. Each gifted or struggling students can work at their own speed as on a case-to-case basis. Teachers assign work on a digital platform and oversee progress. Usually, the sample uh, platform of this is uh, the Quipper school page. Depending on the scenario, this is done to fill knowledge gaps, reinforce lessons, or provide new challenges. In this model also, you can find time to use the tool. You can supervise and help students in that model also. So the next model or the characteristics of the blended learning approach is what we call the rotation model. I have here the illustration of the sample classroom setting using the rotation model. In this characteristic, it focuses on using learning stations, exposing students to a range of instructions types and kinds of content. This gives teachers a chance to provide the students with different digital and non-digital activities. Usually, as a result, this blended learning environment can benefit students who have distinct learning styles and needs. The concrete example of this model is by using the Prodigy's pre-adaptive math game and deliver it as a learning station. This game is for grade 1 to 8 and uses differentiated instruction principles to adjust content, addressing each student's trouble spots, while teachers can also customize in-game problems to reinforce and supplement lesson plans. Another characteristic is what we call the flex model. Generally, flex model is used in schools with high numbers of struggling or at-risk students. The flex model of blended learning emphasizes online content delivery. The lessons, for the most part of this model, remain in the classroom, but it becomes a blended learning environment. Usually, students spend most of their time receiving individualized instruction through online resources and adaptive software instead of traditional lessons. In this model, you should, of course, group struggling and at-risk students. You should also follow a technology budget and determine how you cover curriculum material. We should also secure a range of education technology and instruct teachers to supervise and motivate students. Another characteristic is what we call the online lab model. This blended learning model also accommodates students who need to work at an adjusted pace, but it cannot function in all schools. That's because it applies to schools that are almost entirely made up of computer labs. Students purely learn online in this model. professionals who are not necessarily teachers supervise. Many schools will likely have qualms and difficulties putting this model into action as it applies to scenarios. Another characteristic of the blended learning approach, such as schools and districts not having enough qualified teachers in the online lab model, and the students needing a flexible schools schedule due to constraints such as travel time to the campus, and also the students facing difficulties in traditional learning environments. Another characteristic is what we call the self-blend mode. The self-blend mode or self-blend model appeals to students who want classes outside of school. It involves signing up for online courses to take during their spare time. Usually, gifted and driven students are generally the ones who gravitate towards this model. They often do so for advanced placement or if they're interested in a subject that goes beyond the curriculum. To make this option readily available, you can look to identify online courses and programs and advertise these courses and programs. Another characteristic is online driver model. Similar to the online lab blended learning model, the online driver model focuses completely on instruction through the internet and generally resonates with independent learners. Thus, it uses face-to-face check-ins that is usually are not required. As students work from remote locations such as their homes to complete coursework. Because of these characteristics, you can follow the self-blend model's implementation steps to offer these classes. Just be sure a designated teacher can answer in-person questions and act as a resource person. So my final thoughts about using the sixth model of blended learning approach. Of course, in blended learning, the student will gain more control over learning space and style if you introduce blended learning models that apply to your school or district. In doing so, it will help address a pain point many teachers face that satisfy the unique needs of each student. And also, by selecting the right software and giving adequate access, desirable results should follow. There are elements of ideal blended learning environment. And what is this? The first one is the in-person training. During live training sessions, co-workers can brainstorm and learn from each other. They can practice the new skills and get immediate feedback. Another element is the online learning. Just like what are you doing now? You are learning online. So by incorporating online learning, staff can learn new skills or reinforce existing ones according to their schedule. Another element is through coaching. By implementing coaching sessions, staff can get personalized feedback on current issues they are facing. So what are the important characteristics of the blended learning approach? Of course, the part of a formal educational program. Because it provides students to have control over time, place, and a pace of learning. A part of learning process happens in a properly supervised and big and mortar location. This learning method integrates online tools and face-to-face instructions. Okay, so I prepare a sample online platform that you may use in your own classroom setting, which is called the Padlet platform. So what is a Padlet platform? To introduce what is Padlet platform all about, let me play you this video clip.
In this video tutorial, we're looking at Padlet, an easy and straightforward way to engage your students in online discussions. You will learn how to create Padlets or discussion boards, how to invite students to engage with you and other classmates, and finally, how to moderate online discussions which are happening in Padlet. First thing you need to do is to head over to padlet.com, sign up if you don't have an account, or log in if you already have an account with Padlet. Once you've signed in or created an account, you'll be taken to a Padlet home screen. Because we don't have any Padlets yet, our library is empty. Today we're looking at how to create a Padlet. So click on Make a Padlet. Padlet lets you select between different layouts. If you're not sure which layout you want to choose, you can always click on Preview to see what the layout will look like in real life. Today, we're going to stick with the simplest layout on Padlet, Wall. Once you've selected layout, click Select. First thing we want to do is give our Padlet a title and description. You can also choose an icon which will appear next to your Padlet's title, right here in the top left corner. The address is a unique link to your Padlet, which you can use to invite people to join your Padlet. But we will talk about how people join a Padlet a little bit later. Appearance will enable you to customize your Padlet, the wallpaper, the scheme, and font. Now let's have a look at posting and some of the features that you want to make sure you turn on. First, attribution. Display author name above each post. I normally turn this feature on because I want to see who of my students posted what. New post position, it's up to you whether you want a new post to appear at the top or at the bottom. Comments, because we want to use Padlet for online discussion space, I normally leave comments on. Reactions is a nice way to give your students a chance to react to your post or posts of their classmates. I normally select stars. Let's have a look at content filtering a little bit later when we talk about moderation. Now, once you've set up your Padlet, we're going to click Next and start posting. Let's try and create our first post. To create a first post, we're going to click on this plus or pencil button, enter the title of our post. So for my first post, I'm going to use the upload function and upload a file from my computer. I'm going to select this picture and ask students if you could be one of the people in the picture, who would it be and why? So let's create another post. Click on the same icon. For my second question, I'm going to use one of the features from the drop-down menu. I'm going to doodle, let's do this, and ask students what could this drawing be. And a couple of things you can do once the post has been created. You can either delete the post, change the color of the post, copy the post. If while creating a Padlet you realize that the layout is not...
Okay, so what is a Padlet? It means that Padlet is an online virtual bulletin board where students and teachers can collaborate, reflect, share links and pictures in a secure location. Padlet allows users to create a hidden wall with a custom URL. So what Padlet can do? Of course, based on the video presentation, Padlet can review books, answer questions, summarize the topic, making greeting cards and thank you cards, and can be used in forum. Why did we choose Padlet? Of course, it is simple tool and easy to use. It makes lessons more interesting, and the posts can be written via mobile, tablets, or the computer. And the most important thing, it is free. You can download it for free. So how can we use Padlet? Okay, so uh, let's discuss it step by step. Of course, for you to be able to use Padlet, all you need to do is to create an account. You need to go to www.padlet.com. Then you can choose to log in. It's either via Facebook or via Google account. So how are you going to navigate the Padlet platform? This is the dashboard of a Padlet. All your Padlets are stored here. You can follow who has written or added something to your wall in activity. All you need to do is to start clicking the Create New Padlet icon. So what is the first step? Of course, the first one or the first step is to create the Padlet. You need to click the Modify button. So this wall is what you will see when your Padlet opens. On the right-hand side, click the Modify button icon. Of course, the step 2, you need to modify the wall. And how are you going to do that? Of course, you need to click on Portrait and choose or download an image to associated with the wall. Then, you can give your wall a title, for example, Apaiti, or anything that goes to your mind. And you can add a description or question that you want people or students to react to. The step 3 is download, or you can download wallpapers, your favorite wallpapers. Make your wall thematic and interesting. You can choose or download wallpapers to write on. How? Of course, you need to add your own wallpapers by clicking the wallpapers area button, then upload them to the wall, then press submit. Then, number 2, you can choose from different types of walls. The step 4, of course, is to lay out your wall. And how are you going to do that? There are 3 types of layouting. You can decide how posts will appear on your wall. The first one is the freeform. Freeform is all about posts that can be put anywhere and can be resized freely, just like this sample. While stream posts are placed one below the other, while the grid posts are placed in a grid-like format. Those are the 3 kinds of layout that you can found in your Padlet wall. Okay, so let's proceed with the sample output. So I have here the sample stream form. This form is good for writing without pictures. And then for the step 5, you can choose privacy setting of your wall by clicking the visibility icon. It's either private, hidden link, password protected, totally public. And then for step 6, you can start writing and posting to any link, to any site. You can post the Padlet link on Facebook or send it to friends, students via email. Open or click on the link and you will open the wall, then double click on it and you can start writing, just like that. Okay, so let's proceed with step 7. So how are you going to store your Padlet or storing your Padlet? Here you can see a list of the Padlets you have created. Your Padlet is stored automatically. Click completely in the right top of the home page to store it too. If you have any problems, you can write to the Padlet team. They are very helpful. Step 8 is, of course, sharing options. There are many sharing options for Padlet, like Facebook, Twitter, Google, and so on and so forth. They can be uploaded to Dropbox, converted to PDF, or sent via email. So, some of the uses of Padlet are the following. Of course, it can be used for students to learn, keep notes, make notice boards, making bookmark favorite sites, discuss ideas with friends or share news, wishing someone a happy birthday, thank you notes, collective research, sharing information with students from other countries, and many more, and so on and so forth. While the use of Padlet in teachers in the classroom, it can be used in all subjects to teach or to keep notes, or you may use this to summarize the information, to discuss, to brainstorm, to collect feedback, to open-ended question, or to answer the open-ended questions, to review. It can also be used to collaborative learning, sharing within an international community, just like in our uh, webinars. We use this Padlet to collaborate online with participants. And then anonymous question boards and so on and so forth. So those are the things that you can do using the Padlet platform. So this is actually the um, little or the just introduction of what APA-IT can give to you. You may attend our 15 CPD training workshops. We have series of seminar workshops on May 21 to 23. We have the international uh, seminar on action research writing with data analysis and workshop in SPSS. And then on May 28 to May 30, 15 CPD units also the, that you can use to renew your license. We have the international seminar in pedagogical approach in teaching different learning area with demonstration teaching that is open for demonstration teacher. And also we have upcoming research conference, online research conference on June 5 to 7. And also we have international seminar workshop on school leadership, supervisory, and classroom management on June 12 to June 14. I hope that you will support our next international webinar for you to be able to know more about APA-IT. All you need to do is to subscribe our YouTube channel and to like and follow our FB page. So thank you very much. I hope you learn from this session and apply it to your upcoming new normal school system. Thank you, and I hope to see you all soon.